Good evening, Centre Spot UK TV, and we find ourselves here at Victory Park, the home of Chorley FC. Victory Park, set in 1919 after the end of the First World War, so you were telling me, Mike.
Correct, that was what it was commemorated for, yeah. They moved grounds and named it Victory Park. Very cool, I like it.
Originally a rugby club, you told me.
Correct, yes. So I'm going to have to go early and go to the phone.
Look at that, straight in
early
the phone
doors
already.
Because there's a lot to talk about. But 1875 they were founded, switched as originally as a rugby union club, switched to football in 1883. Yeah.
Interesting. So they've been around since the start of it all, and the locality of, because obviously this is currently now the border, I guess, of Lancashire meeting Greater Manchester, but very close to the Lancashire clubs that were part of setting up the FA.
Yeah.
Obviously, Preston's the city, I guess.
Yeah.
More associated with Chorley.
Yeah.
But obviously, we've got Bolton down the road.
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually here. We'd like to get involved in the sort of semi-pro grassroots level. But the reason we're here is because of the influx of celebrity takeovers that is happening across the football world. And you don't realise until you actually delve into it just how many. I mean, there are a couple that are just so random. But obviously the big one at the moment is Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney at Wrexham. Yesterday we found out Delia Smith and her husband are selling their shares and to the American investors and just taking 10% and standing down as directors for next year.
How do you reckon that deal went? Do you reckon Delia went over the desk and went, let's be having you?
I think she probably got on the phone first because she was sat there and no one was there and she went, where are you?
That's true, yeah. Yeah, she could have just sent an email.
That's probably true, yeah. So
maybe arrange the appointment, I don't know.
So Chorley themselves obviously are in the National League, National Northern League, sorry. So one step down from the Nationals. We are here, we've come at a good time because this is open training, which I quite like. You know, fans come down, have a watch of the players, essentially opposition come down and see what they're working on.
Which is what I think people were fearing, and that's what we were doing.
When we did ask questions, they said you can have a look at our tactics if you like. I was like, might do.
Yeah. Well, while you're looking at that, Mike, I do just want to have a little mention that obviously while I was coaching Old Rivingtonians, which I'm not now due to other commitments, my goalkeeper, he played with Robert. This is where he came to.
Yeah, excellent goalkeeper as well, Aidan.
Yeah.
Superb, one of the best I've played with.
Name drop for you there, Aidan.
Superb goalkeeper. Anyway, so the reason obviously we're here is the grassroots stuff, but also the quite bonkers thing in February where Keith Duffy and Shane Lynch from Boyzone and Brian McFadden from Westlife, who were friends with Prince Yamo, who's the owner of the club now, all of a sudden just said, oh yeah, we're going to be the face of Chorley FC. That didn't cement itself till May, but still, I mean, Chorley fans feel free to correct me because obviously there probably is some information internally, but still no real evidence as to what they're doing here. I think it's just the face of the club. But obviously, like you say, like 10 minutes down the road from Horwich and Bolton, so it's a big coup for them to bring in three well-known pop stars.
Well, again, you're talking clubs in surrounding areas of other major clubs around them. I mean, obviously, Chorley kind of like arguably sits. It could flop towards Manchester clubs. It could flop towards Blackburn. Maybe Burnley's a bit too far out. But also, it will pick up again because it's just on the border of kind of like even the Liverpool clubs. You know, Liverpool and Everton.
You mentioned the Blackburn stuff, and obviously they've had Gary Flitcroft as a manager. They had Matt Jansen as a manager, both Blackburn legends. They've had a few Boltonians here. Obviously, Paul Mariner was a Chorley lad. We had.
How very dare you? Paul Mariner was from Horwich in Bolton.
Oh, he was. Sorry, that's why I said Bolton. That's why I said. I apologise. And he was a good. I
You're
loved
from Bolton.
I knew Paul well at school. He taught me. He's Colin McGinley, not because of my boozing abilities, but because of my football abilities. They didn't know me as a boozer back then. So anyway, we'll move on.
Probably you weren't one.
I wasn't actually. No. But yes, obviously they've had Frank Worthington. He wasn't here for long, but the magnificent Frank Worthington, the Bolton player.
Well, there you go. There's another sort of like bit of synchronicity to this, because you've got Frank Worthington here for a short spell. Frank Worthington was also at Stockport County for a short spell.
Yeah.
And now we have the manager, Andy Priest.
Yeah, Andy Priest is the Blackpool Stockport Bury forward, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been managing for a couple of years, hasn't he? But they're doing. Let's fingers crossed to get promoted, because they've never been up to the actual football league. So obviously 2 divisions to go yet. But
you're saying the Irish boy bands connection there. I know this club's had aspirations to sort of move up there, and I think it's good to do that. So you have had some high-profile people come into it. It's not like just a little backwater club, is it? And did they not have a decent run in the FA Cup?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
And wasn't it here? Did they not film here?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was on TV.
They put it on BBC.
Because there was an ex-Bolton player, and forgive me, I can't quite remember his name. Striker who came here, and he was there. He played in that game. But they've got a couple of ex-Bolton players on the books now.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's so. Lancashire FA Trophy winners 18 times, and there's only a couple of actual existing EFL teams who've ever won that trophy.
Right. Okay.
So Blackpool, what was Bury, Accrington Stanley have won it. Wigan, Athletic. Nah, far too big for that. We've never been in it. So yeah, there's only a few. So they have won it 18 times, but it's been interesting to see what the Irish trio bring and what they actually try and do here. But there's obviously a big push to make it a bigger club with obviously a bit of investment. So we'll see. But like I say, the original reason we were coming down was to talk about why there's such an influx in celebrity ownerships.
Well, I know we had a discussion beforehand, and it'd be quite a miss of me to not mention it, and it's only just come into my head. This was probably a similar standing in club level, probably higher actually than Salford City were.
Yeah.
Before they're famous, well, not celebrities, they are actually footballers.
Yeah.
But that's what it kind of takes now, isn't it? And that's what people are interested in. And we had a discussion before, and obviously I'm going to remember the times of when you had people taking over a football club and knowing there was no money to be made in it, but it was a bit of a labour of love. Ones that I'm thinking of straight away is the farcical event of Michael Knighton.
Once the guy came out and did kick-ups on the pitch, was it?
Yeah, he came out in full sharp kit, didn't he? But then I'm thinking of people like who've really stuck with it, and I'm sure it's now long in the memory of the club, but people like Peter Swales, who when he stuck to City. Yeah. And I remember, I think you're a little bit too young for it maybe, how much grief he got for owning City. Peter Swales got a lot of grief, but he stuck to it, and he was. It's funny how now it's being seen as a bit of a glamorous move to pick up a club where once upon a time it was like, look, I'm going to get absolutely pilloried for owning this club. I'm going to put my own money into it, and I'm never going to see a return to it. But now it's
what's different? I mean, because it's not general. I mean, I was looking at the Wrexham situation with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, and so they purchased the club in November 2020 from the Supporters Trust. It cost him about $2 million to buy it, but apparently he lost like a lot more than that in the first year, just trying to do whatever he did.
I guess that's like a bad film to him, though, isn't it? You couldn't lose that kind of, I didn't really so much lose the money; it just dropped down the back of the sofa, and I found it 5 years later.
But they've the reason they took the club over, and Ryan Reynolds actually said this in the Wrexham documentary, whatever it's called. They want to turn Wrexham into a global force. Now, it took them just under 3 years to win the National League title from taking over.
I'm still stuck on global force.
And then the year after, obviously, they finished second behind Stockport in the League Two, and now they're playing Bolton on Sunday in League One. So they are.
Oh, fair play to them. They've obviously come
pushing.
To me, Wrexham before that was just Mickey Thomas.
I'll just remember that goal, yeah. Was it a free kick against Arsenal in the FA Cup, wasn't it? Yeah.
You didn't pay him in fivers, though. You're too young for that one as well. However,
at least I admitted that one. There's a few videos in the past where I've just laughed along.
Some people will be watching that and think, yeah.
So we've got obviously the original celebrity takeover was Elton John, 1976.
Yeah.
Watford. Yeah. Bankrolled them. I didn't realise this, bankrolled them to 3 promotions by 1982. So they're in Division 4 and 3 back-to-back promotions, 80, 81, 82.
With a very famous manager.
Yes, who he appointed and then reappointed later on down the line. They finished second in their first season in the top flight as well. So not only did they go bang, 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 they then went second, Europe, Luther Blissett, all that.
Yeah.
Jumpers for goalposts, isn't it? But he sold his stake in 1990, but now he's alive.
That must have been one of your passes, that, mate.
It probably went in. That's probably the noise that their net makes. He's now their honorary life president. Obviously, has a stand named after him. We've then got, obviously, we mentioned Norwich. So Delia Smith and Michael Wynne-Jones, her husband, have been on the board since 1996. And yesterday, obviously, announced that they were handing over the rest of their shares, apart from 10%, to Norfolk FB Holdings, the American firm. Obviously, Norfolk, big county in America.
Yeah.
We've then got Leeds United.
Also where Norwich is.
I know, yes. That's right. I know. It probably isn't a county or state in America.
UK was a little bit before Norfolk US.
Leeds United, 49ers Enterprises, so they're the owners of San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Part of those investors are Russell Crowe, Will Ferrell, Michael Phelps, and golfers Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas.
And now, of course, you've got me thinking Tom Hanks is now hanging around Aston Villa,
yeah,
isn't he?
Apparently he's a fan, yeah.
Yeah, because he came to the Midlands and looked for this, what he thought must be a nice little sort of Victorian-style cottage called Aston Villa.
And then he...
found out it was a football club.
He's still trying to get him to play with Wilson, I believe, isn't the main football?
Right, not Bob Wilson.
No, I don't think so. No. You've then got Birmingham. Just a quick one on Leeds. The total value of the company who owns Leeds are worth $5.97 billion as of last year. Birmingham City, Tom Brady, ex-American footballer, he only owns 3.3% and doesn't have any voting rights, but apparently he's there to apply extensive leadership.
I mentioned Burnley as well. Who's the cat that's put money into Burnley?
It's YouTubers, isn't it? And then another American footballer,
yeah.
That's random.
Well, it's not really, because at least they understand now it's a proper game of football and not their version.
True. Sorry to any American viewers watching.
If we go stateside, please send you
This is the really random one
questions
for me, which I was shocked at when I was looking into it. So there's an American actress called Mindy Kaling. Now, she's more well known for the Office, US Office.
Right. Never watched it.
She was part of a consortium that took over majority ownership in 2017 of Swansea City.
Really?
And she was apparently on Oprah Winfrey's talk show saying, it's an adventure. Oh, all right then. Just playing with people's emotions. It's an adventure.
I think, to be fair, though, we do. Yeah, you are. It's an emotional adventure, but it is still an adventure.
Yeah, but it's random, isn't it?
If you remember what we were saying last week, that's an adventure as well.
True.
A project, but yeah.
We've got Bournemouth, Michael B. Jordan, the actor, was part of the hierarchy in December 22 following Bill Foley's purchase, who's currently owner. Obviously into Miami. David Beckham didn't just buy a club, did he? He made one.
I don't think David Beckham's a celebrity in this game. I think he's actually a legend.
I love the fact that he just thought, I fancy buying a club, sod it, I'll just make one.
Yeah.
And we'll have Adidas sponsoring the kits, making the kits from day one. No, money's no object for Bex, is it?
Doesn't he have something to do with Salford, though, still?
I think he had something.
Was he the one that did it?
I don't think he did, yes. Yeah. Nicky Butt.
Yeah.
It's Keno.
No,
so it's just
hell no. That's why players stay.
True, good point. And then obviously we've got
Keno, but you do upset him.
And then we've got Wrexham. So it is interesting to see where the influx has come from. I was reading something about why people think that like Ryan Reynolds took over Wrexham, and I mentioned this to you. It gives them access to more things, so it gives them access to leverage their sponsorship opportunities with Ryan Reynolds, Aviation Gin, and Mint Mobile, or Mint Mobile as they call it, as he calls it.
That's because it should be a cell phone in his world, shouldn't it?
Well, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, cell.
Oh right. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Hey, we got your cell.
So
your mobile
gives them access to a lot of extra business opportunities. So I think you've got to think about that from an owner's perspective. Whereas you're looking at, like you said, when we talked about Sharon Britton or like Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Well, actually, that's probably a bad example because Ineos will be all over Manchester United already, won't they? There'll be sponsorship opportunities everywhere. But Sharon Britton is purely in it, and a lot of football owners are purely in it just for the club and to
Yeah, I think with Sharon, she's not got anything to advertise on it really, apart from now the strawberry on her arm, which now you tell me where that comes
son's
from.
business, yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's just nepotism. But that wasn't her intention with it.
No.
But the elephant in the room, Mike, is if you have all these commercial ideas and all these commercial ventures and you're attaching them to a football club, why would you be attaching them to a football club? Where are they appearing now? More than if they're on their own ground. We spoke about it last week. Your ground takings are nothing into your profit. Your profit is the TV coverage.
Yeah.
So especially if, it's something to play for now, isn't it? Sky themselves have put in so much more games on the EFL. It's even restructuring how fixtures are actually done. I mean, Manchester United kick off tomorrow the season. Friday night, 8 o'clock. Come on.
It's a great time to kick off a season, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Fulham. There's
it's good for the drinkers amongst us.
I'm sure there'll be humour in it, but yeah, I mean, either way, whichever way the mop flop there, Fulham or Manchester at 8 o'clock, it's not desirable on a Friday.
You've used the word flop quite a bit in this episode. I like it.
Flop?
Yeah, you said, it was the beginning about the fans in Chorley. They flop this way or they might flop that way, and you've just said which is the way the mop flops.
It's like, yeah.
Anyway, flop. Word for today.
Like a gang of dancing dolphins, isn't it?
So on Sunday, obviously, as I mentioned, Bolton Wanderers take on Wrexham on Sky. Sharon Britton versus Deadpool.
And obviously, Michael's centre spot hoodie will be once again appearing.
We'll be there at the... we don't know where we're going to be just walking around, talking to a few fans. We're not doing it as a videoing opportunity. We're just going to be there.
We're going watching a game of football. But when in Rome.
Yes, please carry on.
Yeah.
So Sunday we've got James McLean versus John McAtee. James McLean obviously has a rather hated relationship between him and the Bolton fans after his time at Wigan Athletic. John McAtee rejected Wrexham to come to Bolton Wanderers. Sharon versus Deadpool, as I've already brought up.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a few matches here. Yeah.
I wonder if Ryan's going to be there. I wonder if we can give him a centre spot hoodie.
If it's raining, he'll probably be in the Harvester.
Well, we'd better stay there then, haven't we? It's better just to be safe than sorry.
Well,
we'll be on TV.
Might as well drop in for a tipple, haven't we?
So that's it, really, I suppose. We wish Chorley all the best, local club. Plenty of optimism. If, Robert, you want to pan round and...
But I think, as you say, what is nice...
Have a look at the ground and move yourself forward and see where it's all looking and how it's all coming.
But you've got fans here. That's the beautiful thing, isn't it? You've got fans. You've got a few fans up in there as well, Robert, watching the training.
I think, as I said when we walked in, I said the thing is, even at this level, the football standard will be outstanding. You don't realise just how good footballers are until you get to, well, any kind of semi-pro or professional level.
That's the joy of the FA Cup, isn't it, man? It's...
what, the FA are trying to kill?
Well, yeah, but I'd like to think that, your heart's kind of like warmed by the fact that you've got to the supporters here. This club is as important to someone who supports Real Madrid.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And I love the fact that you've got people here in the club shirts as well.
Yes, do you know what? The away kit this season is fantastic. Big fan of that. But I suppose there's only so much you can do as Newcastle fan with black and white, isn't there? There's only really just so much you can do. Just do
like most clubs do now and just throw in a colour that they choose. And I'm not even going to mention the Definitely Maybe shirt. However,
we will say that the Definitely Maybe font, or the null font last week, the Charity Shield was pretty poor, wasn't it? But I think a lot of people felt the same way.
Yeah.
But we'll move on from Manchester City. So yeah.
Speaking of which, it's a big week for that actually coming up, isn't it?
It is. We just found out. Yeah, they're bringing it forward.
Obviously, we will cover that, or we'll do something to do with that as much as we can pick the bones out of that. But that's going to be very interesting and a very shorter protection of time is what they're actually suggesting that to be. That's got football commentators for when I do actually drop in on the more logical side of TalkSport, because let's face it, there's a very logical side of it. Andy Goldstein. But
I think there's more than him.
Well, there's plenty more than him. But yeah, there's a lot of people coming on saying they think that it won't stick because the Premier League is shortening it now to try and potentially brush it under the carpet. That's me. sort of like surmising it out. However, we'll see. This is
No, I don't think so. We'll finish with Robert. I know you're not on camera tonight, but just want to pop round for 1 second. Just give us your predictions and thoughts for Sunday's match. In you come, Bolton Wrexham. You know, we're talking about these celebrity owners. We're still in the middle.
We've got you. We don't need
What
celebrities.
do we think?
Famous by Rob. I think they'll win. Bolton. Comfortable.
Comfortably,
do you really?
I think they're in a tougher league now, Wrexham. They've got to have the money to back it, but I don't know. I just don't think they'll do it in this league, to be honest. I think they'll go straight back down.
I like your prediction.
And I think John McAtee will score and kiss the Bolton badge in front of the Wrexham fans.
Not that we're contentious or anything
Well,
like that,
as I'm going to be totally neutral, what I'm going to say is after watching Bolton play on Saturday, I think we've got some good signings there. Some good signings that are sort of like going to... I've seen Bolton play some good football last season, last couple of seasons, and I've actually said it to you that, you know, when they want to play, they're playing a really decent level. I think these boys that they brought in gave that,
the
uh,
substitutions look great,
there
didn't they?
on Saturday.
Yeah.
So we all know what the aspiration of the club is last season. I think there was obviously a bit of sadness that Wembley went the way it did, but I think if you're going to scrape into the Championship, you're better off going in there more readied for it with a decent chance of staying up there, as opposed to just getting in there to say we've done it, because the demoralisation of going up and coming back
Yeah, true.
does really impact on most clubs that you see that happen to. So, yeah, anyhow, early days.
Early days.
It is now August.
It's a 6-pointer, a promotion 6-pointer. Second game of a week of the season.
But always
which is
remember
incredible.
this August, and then when it comes to May, which will come round, we'll go like, where did that go? Every season it does.
Doctor Doom, over here, he's had a good time tonight. But I agree, it's going to be Christmas soon and dark.
There's nothing doom about that. That's just life, man.
Everyone loves Christmas, though.
You love Christmas. I'm not a big fan. Yeah. Anyway, so good luck to Chorley FC this season.
Yes.
We hope to see you up at the top end of the table, pushing for the National League. And
It'd be good to see another local club up there, wouldn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Adios.
Bye-bye.